G'day fellas. Welcome to another video where we're going to be taking a look at a new strategy. So this is going to be called the Pennsylvania Push. We're going to be using Pennsylvania and leveraging the power of the Philadelphia Convention to provide us a nice little timing push to deal with those pesky fast fortresses. So the idea is that with this strategy, we're going to overwhelm our opponent with the amount of units that we've got. We're going to try and sit under their town center, camp their shipments, and eventually burn down their town center, try and idle them as much as possible. Now we are up against an AI opponent, just simply because I don't have enough real opponents yet. So I hope you guys don't mind me demonstrating with a little bit of a Swedish laming enemy here. So the build order that we're going to be opening up with is just the standard sort of thing. So opening up with a house, and then going to be dropping down a market as well. And then from here, we're going to be shipping in our capitalism shipment. I was going to say capitalism treatment. I don't know what kind of treatment you'd get for capitalism. Probably a little bit of socialism, I guess, or maybe even some communism might fix that up. But now coming in with our deck, so going to ship that capitalism first, and just looking for any coin treasures in the beginning of the game. One of the good things about the United States is you never really feel too bad picking up coin treasures in the early game, just because you are going to be using them. You've got that early market as well, which means you can buy food just to get up that little bit faster. Now, the other option is that you can just be saving that coin, because it is a little bit expensive to be buying food, and you're going to be using that coin to buy a bank anyway. But I feel like it's probably a bit more important just to get up to the second age in a build order like this, because typically then your XP crates are going to arrive earlier, and then you're going to be able to send your third shipment in earlier, because normally you've got like just a tiny little bit of XP that you need. So the earlier you can get up, the better. So now that we've got that trickle of coin in from capitalism helping us out nice and early, we're eventually going to be able to buy food with that. So I think that this is quite a reasonable thing to be doing, just to get you up, you know, that extra maybe 8 or 9 seconds faster, just because you don't have a 3 villager shipment when you're doing this. So it does take that little bit longer. Normally it would be about 6 seconds, but with those 3 villagers, it really probably pushes up to close to 8 seconds. It does make a hell of a difference. The other thing is really, with the United States, I love how flexible they are in the early game, and honestly, I just feel like any treasure is good with the United States. If it's an XP treasure, great. If it's a wood treasure, great. Food treasure, amazing. Coin treasure, amazing. Even if I come across one of those treasures where it increases the health of my explorer, I go for it, because my explorer's got a high base HP. He's got a base HP of 500 compared to 400 of the Europeans. So he's basically like a war chief. So the United States general is incredible. So now that we've hit the age up, so relatively early age up, we're shifting everybody over onto coin. We're picking up another coin treasure here, so feeling really good about ourselves. So the idea is, once we've clicked up, now everyone's over onto coin, we're going to be shipping in that bank. That bank is going to provide us all of our coin. It's also going to give us that nice XP boost. It is going to cost 350 coin though. And so I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take for me to get that treasure. So I just say, you know what, we're just going to chop, or we're just going to mine that 350 coin out. And now it does come in, and I realize, okay, well, we're overmined a little bit, but that's okay, because we've got to get hunting dogs anyway. So assigning villagers now to the trees, we're going to get hunting dogs in, and we also need to drop down a house before we age up. So when we age up with Pennsylvania, so we get an outpost. We don't get a military wagon, so it does take a little bit longer. But the reason why we're going to be taking advantage of Pennsylvania and doing this Pennsylvania timing push is because of the card Philadelphia Convention. So this is basically it's the unique church card, but for the United States. So they don't have a church, they've got a meeting house, which looks like a church, smells like a church, but it's not a church, it's a meeting house. So now dropping down our bank, and so it also unlocks, so it ships the meeting house wagon, and it also unlocks the tech. So pretty good church card, pretty good convention card. And so now the outpost coming down, I'm just putting that in a relatively forward spot. Want to try and secure that hunt, because that hunt is a little bit far out. And now we've got steel traps as well coming in. So we've chopped for steel traps, and now our 700 wood. So despite getting 700 wood as our first shipment, I'm still opting to get steel traps at age up, just because you really want to get the ball rolling with your food collection. You need a lot of food for this strategy, because once we reach the second age and our 700 wood has arrived, we're going to be dropping down our barracks and our stable straight away. So we're going to be going into double military productions straight away. So it gets really quite intense. So you know, it's important that we have that economy to support that we're getting in as well. So keep in mind, we've got the capitalism behind this. We've also got the bank wagon. So we've got quite a bit of resources trickling in for coin, which is why you see that coin going up so fast despite having no villagers on there. So now with that 700 wood, getting a lot of villagers on there, dropping down that stable straight away. Got a lot of villagers building that stable as well, because we really need to get these units out as quickly as possible. Still quite early in the game, because we did buy that 100 food in the first age, so we were able to age up, just that little 8-9 seconds faster. So that's really going to help us out. We're also going to drop down a whole bunch of houses with this, and then once we've dropped that down, we're going to begin training units. So now we're not doing too bad with population. So we're up to 30 population. That'll be 40 population. I think we're probably going to drop down another house here as well, which is definitely the right decision, because realistically from here, all we are really doing is just making units. We're essentially going all in. But at the same time, we've got a pretty good economy behind this. So I do like this strategy. I do think this has got a lot of potential, especially against civilizations like Spain. I think that definitely might have potential. So now sending in that Philadelphia Convention. So that's one of the unique cards that you get with Pennsylvania. You can't get it with any other age-up state, or any other federal state, I should say. You do still age up, obviously, but they're not age-up politicians. They're, I guess, federal states or age-up states, I guess, would be the most reasonable way. Now, so you can start pushing out with your first batches of units like this. I just keep them in my base because I am playing against an AI. So we do miss the 5th Musketeer or the 5th Regular on that batch, but still not looking too bad. We've got plenty of income at the moment, and really just keeping our units being trained. And so for me, in this position, I'm thinking, all right, well, ideally we'd probably push out, dropping the meeting house down now. Just try and idle the opponent, see what we can find, just do a little bit of poking, maybe defend against some raids if we're up against Germans or something like that. But at the same time, so now we're getting a trickle from the Philadelphia Convention. This is equivalent to a bank. So essentially, we're getting a bank for free because, we're not really going to be on estates in the late game. So then that's what it's looking at. So it actually reduces the rate that you gather from estates as well as from fishing boats and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't reduce natural resources. It's just the infinite sort of resources that it reduces. But it gives you a coin trickle in to justify it. So I think it's a 2.5. It could be 2.75 coin trickle, but it's about a bank, so it's pretty darn good. So at the moment we've got 2 banks and that capitalism treatment or capitalism shipment. And now picking up an explorer. I'm really at this point, I'm just moving out, just sort of faking it, I guess you could say, because there's not really anything meaningful coming here. And now sending from the home city. So we've got the 8 State Militia card. This is quite a strong card. I do like this card a lot. Gives you a lot of flexibility. It means that if there's any pikemen or anything like that, it's going to be very easy to deal with, just because you're going to have that added bonus against the opponent. And now, despite being overpopped, instead of buying wood to unpop myself, I'm actually buying food so that we can get the sharpshooters in. So the sharpshooters are the age 3 skirmisher unit for the United States, but you can get a shipment of them in age 2. So we've got that forward outpost there as well. Probably could have put that outpost a little bit closer to the enemy base. There's the sharpshooters coming in now. Grouped together with some cavalry, and we're going to be aiming for our next shipment as well. So, well, when I say next shipment, it's a next unit shipment. So that's coming in from the meeting house. So that's one of the unique ones. And so now going for the carbine cavalry. So we're really getting a bit of an army together here now. Quite a good composition. We've got our regulars, which are our musketeers. We've got the state militia, which are like strelets. We've got they're not called volunteers. They have had their name changed. So they've been changed to, what is it? I can't remember exactly. Sharpshooters. They're called sharpshooters. So they're like the long-range skirmisher or Cassador unit. And we've got hussars as well. And then at the same time behind this, we've got the 5 carbine cavalry in as well. So now I'm starting to buy wood for houses. Now, one of the things I'm actually forgetting to do is send Minutemen. So ideally, what I would be doing here as well is sending Minutemen into the opponent's base, because they retain, I think it's 90 out of the 200 health. So they're pretty cost effective when you think about it. Like, you're paying 300 resources for 6 veteran musketeers, but they lose their health, over the course of a minute down to 90 health. So that's not too bad. That's pretty reasonable. But, I'm pretty satisfied with this mass. The composition is especially good. You just got to be a bit careful with the macro. Obviously, you get housed quite quickly because you've got a lot of units coming out of that outpost quite fast. And now sending in another shipment. So we've got the 5 regulars coming in. So really just going all in at this point. I suspect against, a naked fast fortress, it's going to be able to deal with this quite effectively. Similarly to how Sweden deals with it. So if I am up against a Spanish player and they're going for this naked fast fortress, I'll stay age 2 and I'll just mass Karolians and hussars. And it's that same kind of mindset. I'm at this, like, on one hand, I'm focusing on my economy by getting up my bank and getting in the unique techs. but at the same time, I'm also really making sure that I'm just going all in with my unit. So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, I encourage you to join the Discord. We've got a whole bunch of resources on there, including what you're looking at the moment. So this is my Pennsylvania push build order. So jump on Discord, come check it out, and we got plenty of other good stuff on there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.